What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. We're hopping on here with Brian and Josh, giving a bit of an update about EBB Launchpad and more specifically what's happening with our travel voyage brand. We've had a number of things that have happened since we did the last update video. So I'm going to turn it over to the guys and they're going to talk a little bit about, and warning, we're going to get vulnerable. We're going to be talking about the nitty gritty. And we do want to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly that happens with building a business. So I'll turn it over to the guys and they will let you know a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes.
Yes, sir. I'll start things off. So, to kind of give you guys some perspective, we wanted to actually take advantage of the Q4 push. A lot of people are hesitant in terms of doing that, but we saw a lot of potential with some increased demand to be able to launch this product. But with some manufacturing concerns, we had to put that on a halt, and now we're aiming for a Q1 launch, which, to be honest, looking at the market data, it actually does pick up. This brand, as you can imagine, in travel, a lot of people are staying back home in Q4 season. The demand is not nearly as high as Q1, Q2 as we start to get into travel season. So we're taking that as a win, but we're also taking it as a learning experience ultimately. And what we would like to share today is really just kind of peeling back the curtain in regards to our supplier process and how things have been going there. Because transparently, in my experience sourcing from China, I can get a sample in hand and go into production right away. But in this scenario, due to the customability, so if you guys have watched our videos with Ritz Momentum, they did a phenomenal job doing split testing and user testing to be able to come to a superior, better product on the market. And we're so confident to be able to launch that product. But with the customability, as you can imagine, it does take more time with manufacturers to be able to do that. So with our first suppliers, so we ended up ordering samples from, I think it was 3 or 4, Josh.
We ended up ordering from 4
suppliers. Okay, so we ordered from 4 suppliers. And, we saw a lot of nuances that we liked and we saw a lot of nuances that we didn't like. So what we did is we really came to the drawing board and we outlined the pros and cons, and then we came to a solution on what we want better and what we want different. We knew due to the customability that we were going to go through a 2 sample round on this product regardless. We weren't going to get lucky with the first one. But the challenge that we saw was pricing. So I guess our communication on the front end wasn't as great as we wanted it to be. Even though we had sent them drawings, they still didn't understand the capacity of where we wanted the customability to go. So for that reason, they had essentially quoted us a significantly lower price that was actually more so towards our target range. But then after getting the sample, we went back with the changes, and that cost of goods increased by roughly about 50%, which was a huge step back for us. So we had to get more creative in what we should do to ultimately reduce the cost and come to a conclusion that would still allow this product to be extremely profitable. So Josh, I'll let you jump in, share some of your experience, maybe talk about how we phased out suppliers, things along those lines, and then after we'll kind of dive in what we're working on next.
Of course. Yeah, so jumping right in, I think the best thing here is we got our 4 samples in. We saw what we kind of wanted from the get-go, and then we kind of needed to see what we wanted to change. What was not really needed, what was the material made out of, et cetera, et cetera. Going back in for the second round, we kind of took our 4 samples together, seeing what the good attributes were and what the bad were, and went forward from there. So currently stating, we are in that process of still talking to a few of these suppliers. A couple of them we vetted out, ones that weren't able to produce what we kind of wanted from the get-go. As Brian was mentioning, the margins, we want that to be obviously in our best interest. So continuously talking to the suppliers and making sure that we get what we want at the same time for a decent price.
Yeah. So we actually put this into our sourcing agent's hands as well. So we're going to entertain potentially more suppliers as we continue to work with these. And, in my experience selling on Amazon, trying to get that cost of goods down, especially on the front end, is key, because on the back end, it's significantly harder. So we're not looking to commit. We're not looking to jump in. We're really looking to make sure that it makes sense on the front end. It's still looking very promising. We can get away with the cost of goods that we currently have transparently. But again, for profitability and in a little bit more of a competitive niche, we definitely want to go gung-ho and really take our time here, especially with the extended launch date that we have being in Q1 now. We're really just turning every stone here. And I actually hopped in the chats with Josh, and we're gonna be playing some good cop, bad cop in there to be able to leverage our suppliers against each other. So it's been fulfilling. It's been a learning experience. I think one big thing that we wish we'd done was actually requested good videos. We had pictures sent to us before the samples got sent out. We wish we requested videos of showing the actual functionality, the quality, things along those lines, which maybe would have put them back to the drawing board and told them like, hey, we need to reproduce a sample before sending out. So again, learning experience. We're getting vulnerable here, showing you the nitty gritty of what it really takes to build a brand and doing it right out of the gates. Now, what I want to touch on next is actually, we filmed a video that's yet to be released. So you'll probably see this update before you see these videos, but we had a platinum sponsored data dive and Brandon Young come in, and we did a very, and you guys probably saw some of the data that we looked at when it came to us actually running through our data dive. But obviously Brandon, him creating the tool, he allowed us to see a lot of different opportunity with this product. So we were able to identify not only just being within the travel niche, but also being within the home niche and being a closet organizer for your home, and also supporting the people that travel but camp for travel. So camper accessories, things along those lines. Again, very functional to be able to use that. So what that ultimately allowed us to conclude was launching multiple variations that kind of serve multiple different markets. So we're planning that essentially at this point, and we're seeing what the best variations will be to launch in terms of doing that. But other than that, I think this is where things really get fun. Like I think one thing that we're going to be doing is actually running a pre-sale period for this. This is something that one of our partners within the brand will, and we'll have him probably come on the next time, but he does this very well with his brands on Amazon and Shopify, and he pre-sells units. And the goal here is a couple different things. One, it will help us allow us to really establish some demand. It'll help us really build a price point based off of what we can convert in a pre-sale period, which will tell us how we want to launch this product ultimately. But also it'll help us fund potential second order right out of the gates. So that's being worked on in the background. Super exciting. And in doing so, our goal is to run full organic content. So as we have our samples completed, we're going to be creating content like crazy. And this is where I'm going to have a lot of fun because I love creating content. I know Mike does. A lot of us travel, this is why we got into entrepreneurship in the first place. So we'll be taking that traveling, creating content, and really focusing on not necessarily virality, but really high buyer intent engagement and pushing people to our pre-sale page. Again, with the intent of really just getting some good, solid metrics to be able to launch this on Amazon and Shopify as well. So.
Yeah, and I think one of the amazing things that we're able to do whenever you look at pre-selling, especially when we get to control that traffic, is we get to see where a lot of the early adopters, a lot of the early big fans of our product are. We're able to satisfy their needs. They want a fantastic product, and we're putting out, what we think is the best on the market. And then we're able to capture their information so that when we release additional products down the line, we can tell them about that. We can talk about that. And then they can very clearly see that the brand is developing, more products are coming out. We're really building a brand versus just a single product. Yeah. And they can choose at that point to continue to purchase our products. And one thing that is massive when building a brand is really understanding your numbers and your marketing and everything that goes behind it. And so if you have customers that are quite literally lining up and paying you before the item is actually ready, those customers are going to be less expensive for you to acquire, right? You're going to make more margin, and you're going to have more loyal customers that are willing to buy more of your items if you implement a strategy like this. So this will be my first time personally doing something like this within one of my businesses. And so I'm very excited to see the results. I'm very excited to get involved in this brand, make content around it. I'm maybe the most excited to actually have the product and use it within my own life for travel. And even just having that conversation with Brandon allowed us the ability to see that this can be used for more. Right. Yeah. My wife and I like to travel. We like to camp as well. And maybe we use it for home organization in our closet when we need a little extra space and it's not being utilized while we're going. So, we built this product and are building this brand for ourselves very selfishly, but also so we can create awesome products and share them with the world as well.
Yeah. And, we built this platform, the EBB Launchpad, to be able to share strategies that you guys most likely are not doing in your guys' businesses. Like, we want to be that guinea pig for you guys and really test out crazy ideas that we've thought of within the mastermind, so that you guys can learn from it. So we're bullish on the idea of pre-sales, especially with the experience of one of our members. But even more importantly, we're excited to share our learnings with you guys that are all tuning in and following this journey. So without further ado, I think we'll cap off the update here. The next update, we're going to be very much so talking probably more like social media and influencer strategy. And hopefully at that point, we have samples in our hands as well. So if you guys are not yet signed up and you guys have seen value in our updates, one, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button. We're not only posting these updates, every couple of weeks, but we're now posting content with all of our sponsors that are providing significantly more value to help you guys build your brand. We're posting at this point almost every single week. So things are escalating. Things are moving extremely well. And if you want email updates as well, go to launchpad.ecombb.com and you guys can sign up for that there. All right, guys. We'll see you guys in the next one.